baby, on the radar, live from Studio Square Recordings in Queens. I'm here with my guy, Bodega Bamz, Camino out now. What's up, my guy?
What's up, bro?
Yo, man, I'm so excited to have you here. First of all, I've been talking about getting you on this show since I started it, you know what I'm saying? Because, first of all, I've known about you, obviously, for a long time, and obviously, you know, having and showcasing other Latinos is so important to me, especially being from New York. So I'm super excited to have you here. Congratulations on all the success. How have you been during these crazy times?
Incredible, bro. It's been incredible. Ups and downs, but grateful and appreciative, bro. Yeah, grateful and appreciative, man.
So we got the album out now, El Camino. How, you know, with this project, man, obviously we had the Yams Heard This drop last year. Mm-hmm. With this project, how did you kind of want to come in 2021 differently than before?
Well, creatively, the way I put together this project, El Camino, I asked myself, if I'm going to make one last album, how would it sound? So that's how I kind of put El Camino together. So it started off as, man, fuck this rap shit, man. I'm just gonna drop one more project and I'm out of here. I'm gonna be an actor full time. So that was, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I came about with the El Camino, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I mean? And clearly that, you know, that the idea changed now, but it started off as me. How would it sound if I make one last project?
And you know what? I feel like that's like something that a lot of people have been doing lately, like theme-wise.
Yeah, because, well, I can only speak for myself. The older I get, and the more I'm in this game, I realize that you really gotta treat everything like it's your last. And being what happened in 2020, that literally humbled me and opened my eyes to how shit can be taken away from you in a matter of seconds.
That's a fact, yeah.
So I came into 2021 not even with a sense of urgency. I came into 2021 literally like, yo, like, if this is my last time out, I gotta make sure I put the best shit out.
Facts.
Because I also think about, like, imagine if I pass away. Well, I ain't
God
gonna pass away.
God forbid,
but
God
eventually,
forbid,
right? But
yeah.
let's say the last post I posted on Instagram or the last body of work was some negative trash, push it together. That's gonna be my lasting memory, bro. Yeah. Like, I want niggas, like, when it's all said and done, not pass away, but when I'm done rapping, like, when you go back to my last work, it's the best work that I had at that particular moment.
It's kind of like, you know, kind of looking back at like Nip's legacy, you know,
exactly.
Nip.
Perfect. Not that he's gone, but the fact that
Victory Lap was his last project.
And man, like, and that's what makes him and his death and his memory so prolific, because of the body of work that he left before he left.
Facts.
Was incredible. Sadly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta treat everything like it's your last, man.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. So, you know, coming with this project, and then of course, like last year, Yams Heard This. How many years has it been since Yams passed? I think it's 5-6 years.
He passed in 2015.
2015. So now this year it's 6 years. Last year was 5 years. Yeah. So with that project, you know, obviously I know you and him were extremely close. You know what I'm saying? Why did you kind of decide to kind of do that last year? And were some of these records actually records from the early, I guess, 2010s?
Yes.
Since obviously you titled it Yams Heard This.
Yeah. So what happened was, end of 2019, I was already constructing El Camino. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was already putting my team together, putting my ideas together. When 2020 happened, everything kind of changed. So I had dates where I wanted to drop El Camino in 2020. All that shit changed. Also, the climate of music changed as far as, like, people's attention spans and what they want to hear at the time. So I felt like El Camino, because I knew how special it was and how story-driven it was going to be, I felt like, man, niggas ain't ready to hear this type of shit right now. So what I did was I compiled music together that I knew Yams, and I knew that my fans will like, because it's what they're used to. So I compiled some shit. It was almost like a compilation. And I called it Yams Heard This because I knew that if my man was still alive, he'll be around. These would be the records that he'll be like, yo, Bamz, that shit was hard. And a lot of the records were old and new, a mixture of both. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it was one of those type of things. You know what I mean? Like, I pushed El Camino to the side, and I felt like, let me give people Yams Heard This, hold niggas over, and let me hit niggas with El Camino when it's time.
So I gotta ask you this, since we're talking Yams, what's your favorite Yams story or moment that you had with him? And I know that there's probably a lot to choose from, so take your time with it. But like, what's your like favorite moment with Yams?
I remember we went out to a club one day. Me and my brother Ola, we forced him to go downtown with us. He didn't want to come outside. We was like, yo, bro, let's go downtown. Let's run the town and shit like that.
Yeah.
So we went outside. He had a whole Versace suit on. He had a sweatsuit on, right? He had sandals on. He had chanclas on.
Just some real yam shit. Yeah.
Real shit, right? Tank top under. So we know we going downtown, and you know downtown got dress attire, like depending on when you go.
You can't go into no club with flip flops.
Nah,
no
so
Nike size, nothing
at all. So we going this particular day. We going to Greenhouse, which they don't even call it Greenhouse no more. But this is downtown. Like I don't know where it's actually. But anyways, we going to Greenhouse, and there's a line outside and shit like that. So we pull up, and when we pull up, they didn't want to let Yams in because he had the sweatsuit on. So while they
and the sandals.
So while we trying to talk to and the sandals. So while we trying to talk to the promoter, they were letting everybody else in, but they didn't want to let Yams in. So while they trying to dub Yams, they playing work in the background. So Yams had a moment like, nigga, y'all niggas trying to dub me? That's my record right there. So they're like, all right, cool. So then I guess somebody told somebody and they knew it was Yams or whatever. So then we walking in there and they tell them, they're like, all right, cool, we'll let you in, but you gotta buy a bottle. It's gonna be like a two bottle minimum. And he was like, all right, cool. So me and Ola figured out that 2 bottle minimum in there at that night was gonna be like $1,200. So we was like, man, fuck these niggas, bro. We out of here. So we turned around, left, and we went to some other spot called Westway.
Okay.
And we went to Westway, and everybody knew everybody in Westway. So we was Gucci in there, and my man took his same Versace sweatsuit. My man was dancing on stage. It was a great night, man. It was a great night. Man.
That's amazing. I love hearing those stories because, you know, I watched this year. This year's Yams Day was completely different than past years.
It was
right?
fire.
But what I appreciate about this year's Yams Day more than other ones is that this one I felt like
was about yams.
Well, no, I think it's always about yams, but I feel like this year you got to like see videos, you got to see footage, you got to see like more of Yams' personality because it had to be mostly digital and you know, pre-recorded. And I got to see like all these different moments of Yams and people talking about Yams. And I feel like, you know, before it's about the performance, it's about bringing his moms out, it's about playing, you know, his videos in the background. But this year you really got to like get a sense of who he was if you didn't know him.
Right.
And that's kind of what I always appreciate. That's why I had to ask you this, because I always like hearing these stories about Yams. Because like I feel like everybody who knew him got a story like this one that you just told me.
And his mom, his mom is putting together a real official full documentary about him.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. So what y'all saw thus far on the last Yams Day, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of stories about him that is going to be told, and she's going to put it together. So
that's hard. You know, so we talk about documentary, talking about film. You know, you started this show Smilf, and I got to tell you, my girl was really into this show like a few years ago. And I had no idea that you started it because she would watch it, but I didn't watch it.
Word.
But obviously I did my research over the past couple of days you started. How did that kind of happen? Because that show was pretty big for when it came out.
The first year it came out, it got nominated for 2 Golden Globes. Like it was a big deal. Yo, bro, how it happened? I'm in the crib one day, and it's in the morning time, and I'm checking my emails, and Ola forwarded me an email that they sent him. And it was just simple. Like, we looking for Bodega Bamz. We want him to audition for such and such part. There's a show called Smilf. It's gonna be on ABC, Showtime. And as soon as I seen that shit, because it was 3 days later, I was like, damn, did I miss the opportunity? So I immediately hit them niggas back, and they wanted me to audition. They thought I was in LA, and I said, nah, I'm in New York. So can we set an appointment in New York? So we set up an appointment in New York, audition. Niggas flew me out right after, bro, and the rest is history. So it happened so organically, so normal, so I didn't have to work for it. I didn't have to do nothing, which was humbling because, you know, a situation like that on Smilf, on Showtime at that, you know, there's actors out there that, you know, they working and they grinding years before they get an opportunity like that.
Right. And
that shit was like literally thrown at me. You know what I'm saying? So I took every moment in stride. Like, I literally treated that moment. I knew it wasn't my last, but I treated it like, nah, if this is my last time acting, man, I'm going to make sure that I make an impression on everybody. Every time I was on set, I said hello to everybody. I made everybody,
shook everybody's hand, was
all
like,
the time, from the DPs, from everybody, from the wardrobe, from the food people. Like, everybody was getting my, how you doing? All that. So, because it was an opportunity that I've been dying to have since I was a little kid. So I was appreciative for it.
Yo, and I was on your gram and I was scrolling and I took this caption. you wrote, and it said, "I want to be in the Scarface reboot." By the way, the shirt I'm wearing, the same one
That's
that
a fact.
Pacino wore in the film. Didn't even realize it. That's kind of crazy.
Crazy because again, so when I was working on Smith, there was a time when we was in the Paramount lot, and in the Paramount lot, you know, if you've been to Hollywood, you've been to California, that's where they do all the movies at. Like they do everything over there. Like, so in that particular lot, you know, they got Universal's doing their movies in there. So Universal has a closet where years on top of years on top of years, they compile their wardrobe. So every time you do a movie with Universal, they're going to Universal wardrobe or closet and come out. So this particular time, the wardrobe that we have for Smith, she had the Universal plug. Right. So she bringing out the shirt, and I put it on, and I'm wearing it just to wear it.
You just walking around in casual, chilling.
And then because I had a relationship with the wardrobe, shout to her. I had a relationship with her, so I don't know how long after, but it probably was like a few hours after, or maybe a day after. She showed me a picture, and she was like, "You ever seen this movie?" And of course, I've seen the movie. Yeah. She was like, "This is the same shirt that Al Pacino wore in Scarface." She was like, "It might not be the same exact, but he had doubles. So he probably had like 4 different shirts. So if the shirt get bloody, they take it back, they wash it, give him another one. So that shirt was a part of that wardrobe in Scarface. So it's about 95% chance that man had that shirt on, bro, and he got his. So that gave me a boost. Because I'm like, damn, like
you was like, I gotta kill this shit.
Not even that. Like I didn't know when I was acting. I knew afterwards. So it kind of even made me feel even better, like and appreciative. Like, damn, I'm really here, bro. Like I'm sharing clothes with this nigga Al Pacino, which a movie that I grew up and I saw. That was crazy.
So when it comes to your acting bag, man, like, is there anything in the future or is there anything that you're working on right now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
a few things. Yeah, I'm working on a few things right now. You know, shout out to my agents. You know, they always sending me out for auditions. I'm always having opportunities come up. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a lot of self tapes, doing a lot of Zooms, but I got a lot of things working right now. A lot of big shit too that's about to happen.
That's exciting. You know, and I feel like the HBO Showtime vibe is like perfect.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's not like, you know, you're limited to like the network television where like you can't curse, you can't be raw. Like with that, like I feel like you can fully be yourself in the character, you feel me? Because like there's more free range, like you don't gotta worry about like, oh my god, like somebody's mom and kids gonna watch this on ABC on like a Wednesday night, you feel me? Like it's just more open range of like acting and shit like that.
Nah, and I already got my foot in the door with Showtime. They know my name in there, you know what I'm saying? Again, so the fact that I came in the game, the Hollywood game, on a show like that, in a channel like Showtime, you know what I mean? That just adds to, again, like I'm being familiar, you know what I'm saying, and I'm moving around in these spaces. So hell yeah, more Showtime stuff is coming, and definitely HBO, because you know I love HBO, man. Sopranos is my favorite show of all time. Well,
it's my pops too, 100%. So I want to bring back to the rap shit. You know, when I get to sit down with other, you know, dope New York rappers, I always gotta ask, when it comes to your experiences in like the New York rap scene, and you know also being, you know, Latino in the New York rap scene, what have been some of the struggles that you have faced?
Struggles, how fake shit is, and not being prepared for how fake it was gonna be. Shit is dumb fake, bro. Shit is dumb fake.
Wild fake.
And it's literally, it's a use game. It's a thankless job. It's the worst kind of business you could get in. But the beauty behind it is just being able to inspire and being able to create music and being able to be an artist that carries on influence, and you can change people's lives. So that shit always outweighs the bad, but I wasn't prepared for how fake this shit was. For example, like, you know, I'm a real dude, so anybody who I meet, who I cross paths, I'm going to give you my realness. I'm about building. So I had to realize later on that most people ain't built like that. Niggas is fake, bro. And niggas is shaking your hand and smiling in your face. And once you're not hot no more, your phone ain't ringing. So I had to separate, not taking that personal. Like, you know what I mean? Building relationships with people that I know have leverage and are tastemakers or gatekeepers. And then it's easy to get them on the phone when shit is moving. But then when shit get quiet, you can't even get next to them. So I had to learn not to take that shit personal, because I wasn't prepared for shit like that. I thought that everybody I met would receive me the same way I received them. So that's really what it is, bro. Just the fake shit, because everything else, I was prepared for. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew who I wanted to represent. I knew it was going to be a grind. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know what I mean? And the I guess the expectations too. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the right expectations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when you come in this game too, like your expectations are very, very high, and your expectations is
right.
If I'm not going to be a superstar tomorrow, I hate the journey. So I wasn't prepared for that as well, right? Because when you really believe in yourself and you know what you bring to the table, like you want shit to happen when right away. And a lot of times it doesn't. So I wasn't prepared for that either. I wasn't prepared for how long it was going to be.
Right. The best part isn't the ending; it's the journey. Because the journey is a fun shit.
That's a fact. But I wasn't exactly. But
you
nobody put me on to that. Nobody put me on like, yo, Benz, man, like just enjoy the journey, bro. Like it was almost like it was always the mentality I had was almost like, yo, hit the ground running. Like now. So again, it's been a humbling journey, bro. But it also made me stronger and it set me up for the Hollywood game. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can maneuver a little bit better and have realistic expectations with the Hollywood, because I've been through so much with the rap shit that it just made my skin tough.
I love that. No, that's a good antidote. And obviously I saw you post you were talking about how you're the best Latin rapper since Pun,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And I also got to ask you, so, obviously what I love about 2020 and the time that we're in right now is that in New York, there's like a lot of dope, young Latin artists coming out of the game, whether it be CJ, J.I., etc. How do you personally feel about, all these young dudes coming out the game? How do you feel about Latinos in hip-hop in New York right now? Like, what is your kind of take on that?
I think, I feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it's about. When me and my brother Ola came in this game, we didn't have too much representation, and that was one of our focuses. Like, we just wanted to be that influence that will bring more Latinos, whether it was directly through us or it was a domino effect where one hit, and then they come in. And I feel like we did that, and I feel like, again, like we the trailblazers of a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, not sound wise, but just being Latinos and waving our flag and being proud in our heritage. So in one hand, you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole purpose. That was the whole goal. You know what I mean? Like, to have more of us be in the game and be making money and be pulling our peoples on.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And, also I wanted to talk
and all these niggas, too, they, like, I understand, too, that I'm getting older, right? So I'm realizing that I want to be that OG that these young dudes want to be like. You see, because that's what we was lacking, too. Me and my brothers and my brother. The OGs that we had before us, I didn't want to be like them niggas. It was a disconnect there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it was because they were trying to be young or they weren't cool enough, but I feel like we got to blend of two. Like, I'm not afraid to get older. Like, I'm looking forward to get older. So I want the young dude to look at me and be like, yo, when I'm Bam's age, I want to look just like him or be swaggy just like him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
I feel like a lot of the older rappers, they were afraid to get older because they felt like once you get older, it's quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
well, now that's not true. That's not really, as true as I guess
at all.
20 years ago.
So these young kids coming up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee you they know who Bodega Bamz is, especially in New York.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Whether, I'm not saying they fans and they listen to my music, but they know who I am because of what me and my brother Ola, the influence and the inspiration that we bring to the table. Like, that shit is just solidified.
No, and I think that you bring up a really good point because, like, there's not, when it comes to New York, there's only, like, a finite amount of Latin, I guess, OGs in the game that you could really look to. You know what I'm saying? They're there. They're definitely there, but there's not as many as, as you would hope that to be, or that you would, or are as easily accessible to reach out to at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we don't really have that as much as, maybe other places do, or, maybe even in, like, the West Coast or whatnot.
Yeah, we don't. Nah, we don't. And we the new gods. Like, the old gods is about to be what they are, but it's new things being into place. So again, like, as the years progress, whether I'm the top selling artist or not, my brand and my name and what I've already done, my contributions to the game, it's already to the point where when these new niggas come up, even if it's for one time or one conversation, they gonna be like, yo, what about Bodega Bamz? The same way where when I was coming up, people would talk about the people before me.
Yeah.
And I would look to them and say, I like that.
Like
you know what I'm
Joe,
saying? That inspired. Yeah, and all that. So I would look at them and be like, I like this, I like that. Let me use this for my inspiration, and I'm gonna put my own sauce on it. And that's what they're gonna do with me. Bodega Bamz.
Nah, I love that. So getting back into the music, you know, you got some crazy samples on these last two projects that I really wanted to talk about because it's so fire. Because I was not expecting the Waiting for Tonight sample, of course, and the Secure Hips Don't Lie sample. How did those two samples come about? Because I feel like, you know, the samples of those records are legendary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta know how you got them clear because they could be easy, but I feel like whenever people sample legendary records like that, the clearance process is always kind of what jams them up. How did that kind of happen?
Well, so the sample Waiting for Tonight. So that song, you know, the original Waiting for Tonight by Jennifer Lopez. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when it came out. I remember where I was. I remember how old I was, and it just did something to me that every time I hear it, I think about that time. And honestly, that's how I kind of move when I make my music. Like I want to use samples that immediately when you hear them, you think about a certain moment.
Takes you back to that time.
And I feel like I've got that covered. Like every time somebody sees me and they bring up these samples, they always tell me like, I remember when I was doing this, when I heard that. And that's how I connect with the fans. Because before you even hearing my words, you hearing the sound. So once you hear the sound, and if there's a sample that connects with you, and I know kind of like what samples is going to connect, because if you Latino, you Hispanic, like we literally almost got the same kind of upbringing, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So we're going to be listening to the same kind of music, going to the same kind of parties. So I kind of know what my people want. So I got that shit down packed, bro. Like I know how to pick beats. I know what samples to use. Like I've always had an ear for that, like an ear for production. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. So you know, like a lot of these, like for the Shakira joint too. Like even before Shakira even came up with that record, like that's a Peter Guns and Lord Tariq Uptown Baby song that came out like in 1998. And even before them, that's a salsa song. So even before Shakira, like niggas. My memory of that song was 1998.
Right.
When Uptown, Lord Tariq, and Peter Gunn's song came out. You know what I'm saying? So it's about just connecting, bro, with the fans, bro, and like instantaneously putting something on and making something that immediately they're going to relate to.
Because I'm not even gonna hold you. You know, with the Shakira thing, it took me back to because I remember when I was young and my parents weren't as big as to like letting me watch MTV and like, you know, jams and whatnot, watching the hip hop, because like my parents are more traditional. Like my mom likes salsa music. She's not a big hip hop person. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully to them. And like I remember I used to be up before everybody in the house on the weekend. So I remember I used to have the TV on, watching like MTV jams and whatnot like that, and watching these music videos. So when I heard those records, it took me back to like being like 10, 11, 12 years old and just sitting on my couch at 7 a.m. still pitch black outside, and like Shakira and Wyclef Jean on the TV and shit like that. That's you know what I'm saying? So I think that. So when you brought up the memory shit, I was like, okay, yeah, nah, I relate to that because you know, obviously your memory of that sample is different than my memory. Yeah. But we both had that common thing where like
it's the same memory.
It's tied to a moment in time.
Yeah, right. It's the same memory in the sense that it registers. Like as soon as it comes on, you think about something and I'm thinking about something, but it's because of that song or that sample or that sound that's it connects to both of us.
Yeah.
With living different memories, but it connects to both of us because we instantaneously know that sound.
I feel like that's kind of like if you think about, I think that's also why Cardi B's I Like It did so well too, because that was a record that not only that we could connect to, but also like our parents could connect to and people who are older could connect to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because and that's kind of why I appreciated what you did with these records, man, because it really did bring me, like, I was driving here and I was like, oh, this shit bringing me back. Like, I remember, like I said, I brought up the whole story. I remember being young and watching TV and shit like that. So I appreciated that you did that.
Nah, love. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
So when it comes to 2021 and beyond, what are you planning next? Like, what's next for you this year? Obviously, you know, whenever somebody drops early in the year, I got to ask, are you going to drop again this year? Yeah. You know, what's the plan for this year and I guess
honestly, well, so as far as dropping, I mean, I never ruled out dropping again, but I feel like as of right now, at this particular moment, this album is moving in the right pace and in the right direction, and I got enough material to keep on being consistent that I might not have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've always been the dude that is a quality over quantity dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work best when I'm able to, you know, drop one album and focus just on that one album, opposed to being that artist that drops a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I never really moved like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not, again, I don't rule it out, but it's moving in a great pace and in a great direction. Other than that, man, definitely gonna see more videos. Definitely gonna see more of me. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gonna see a movie or a series. You know what I'm saying? In the near future, that's a fact. You know what I mean? Like, definitely gonna be on more TV stuff. So a lot of good stuff is happening. The world is wide open, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we just waiting our time. And when it's our time, it's our time.
Yo, and I'm looking forward to whatever you got coming next. You know, like the movies, the TV, the Showtime, the HBOs. I'm sure whatever. And of course, obviously the music. I'm sure whatever is next for you is going to be like even bigger and better and greater than what, you know,
it gotta be.
Came before, it happens now, you know, etc.
It gotta be, bro. Hell yeah. And I again, so, you know, anybody who follows me, I'm appreciative for the people who follow me thus far. We're going to keep it going, bro. We're going to keep it moving, man. It's forever.
No, that's a fact. Well, I appreciate you being here, chopping it up with me today. Let the people know where they can follow you at. Anything else right here in this camera. Anything else they got to know, message to your fans, etc. Now it's time to drop it in there.
Yo, El Camino is out right now. It's on every streaming platform, man. It's the top 10 album of 2021. That's what I believe. And if I don't believe in it, who else going to believe in it? That's a fact.
That's a fact,
My name is Bodega Bamz. If you never heard of me, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Google. I got a Wikipedia. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
You got a Wikipedia. You know what I'm saying? That's some.
And I ain't put that together. Let's make that clear. Like, I thought that
other people put that shit together.
That was fire because I always, at one point, I was always on Wikipedia. So one time, I just, for fun, I was like, let me Google my name. And my shit popped up. I went crazy. I was like, oh, I made it.
That's how you know that you made it. You made it. Yo, but make sure y'all go run up that El Camino out now. Make sure you follow him. Keep it live. Bodega Bamz on the radar, baby. My guy.
Love, bro.